Every minute you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. This gives you a 1,000% return on energy. Picture this, it's Monday morning. Your calendar is packed. Your to-do list stretches across the desk. Your phone buzzes with new emails, and your mind is already 3 steps behind. You feel the stress building before the day even begins. And yet, you're not lazy. You're not distracted on purpose. You're just caught in a loop. Most people never escape. Busy, but not productive. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not broken. You've just never been taught the true skill that determines success in every area of life. Time management. Now, I don't mean the kind of time management that looks good in planners but fails in reality. I'm talking about a way of thinking, a philosophy, a discipline that allows you to get everything done that matters while creating more energy, more freedom, and more momentum than ever before. Time is the only resource every human receives in equal measure. Rich or poor, young or old, we all get 24 hours a day. But the use of time, that's where destinies are created or destroyed. And here's the reality, most people avoid, you are not managing time, you are managing your life. Time management is life management. It is emotional management. It is purpose management. The way you use your time is the clearest reflection of what you value, what you believe, and who you're becoming. Let's start with a simple truth. If you don't plan your day will plan you, and it will fill itself. Not with what matters, but with what's urgent, noisy, and easy. The emails, the notifications, the requests, the obligations, all of them screaming louder than your vision. That's why the most powerful tip I've ever learned and taught is to begin every day without exception by planning it on paper, not in your head, not on your phone, on paper with a pen. The act of writing crystallizes your thinking. It forces you to get clear, to ask what matters most today. When you write it down, you move from reaction to intention. You become the designer of your hours. And if you plan each day the night before, even better, because your subconscious will begin working on your priorities while you sleep. You'll wake up with focus, with clarity, with a quiet conviction that others mistake for confidence. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They try to do everything, and because of that, they finish nothing. This is why the next principle is so critical. Apply the 80-20th rule to everything. 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. Always. Your job every morning is to ask, what are my top 20% tasks? What are the 3 activities that, if done today, will move the needle further than anything else? Circle them, star them, attack them. Do not major in minor things. The world will constantly try to pull you into what's easy, urgent, or socially acceptable. But success comes from doing what's important, especially when it's uncomfortable. And here's something powerful. Success doesn't come from doing more things. It comes from doing the right things consistently. This brings us to one of the most life-changing habits I ever learned. I call it eat that frog. It means doing the hardest, most valuable task. First thing in the morning, before emails, before meetings, before interruptions. Why? Because willpower is highest early in the day. And if you eat the biggest frog first, the rest of your day feels lighter. You walk into every hour with momentum. You feel productive, focused, capable. On the other hand, if you delay the important work, your mind becomes cluttered with guilt and resistance. You spend your day busy but not effective. So before you even check your phone, ask, what's my frog today? What's the one task that will make the biggest impact? Then sit down and eat it. No distractions, no multitasking, just deep, focused work. Speaking of multitasking, here's another myth that must be destroyed. Multitasking is a lie. It's not efficient. It's not powerful. It's not even real. Your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. Every time you switch tasks, your brain incurs what we call a cognitive switching penalty. You lose energy, you lose momentum, you lose time. The best performers in every field have one thing in common. They work in blocks of uninterrupted focus. You want to write block 90 minutes? You want to create a strategy. Block 2 hours. You want to solve a major problem. Shut off everything else. Phone on airplane mode, tabs closed, no interruptions. You'll get more done in a focused 90 minutes than most people do in an entire distracted day. This leads us to the fourth major keyword. From a clean space, your external world reflects your internal world. If your workspace is cluttered, so is your thinking. Take 5 minutes before you begin and clear your desk. Eliminate the visual noise, light a candle, set a timer, put on ambient music, create a ritual that says, now I work. The sharper your environment, the sharper your focus. Time management isn't just about tools, it's about state. When you work from a place of intention, energy, and clarity, every action becomes more powerful. You stop leaking energy, you stop wasting effort, you begin to move with the calm urgency of someone in control. Now here's a question, how often do you say yes to things you regret? If you're like most people, far too often. Which brings us to perhaps the most underused time management strategy of all. Learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying no to something that does. Your time is your life. You must guard it like a limited resource because that's exactly what it is. This doesn't mean you become rude. It means you become clear. When someone makes a request, ask yourself, does this move me toward my vision or away from it? If the answer is no decline, kindly, firmly, consistently, you are not obligated to be constantly available. In fact, availability is the enemy of greatness. You must protect your time from the trivial so you can serve the meaningful. Now let's talk about something we all struggle with, burnout. The irony of time management is this: the better you manage your time, the more energy you have, because when your day is scattered and chaotic, you end the day feeling drained, even if you didn't accomplish much. But when your day is clear, focused, and aligned, you finish energized. That's why your calendar must include not just work, but recovery, build-in breaks, short walks, deep breaths, unplugged meals, a hard stop in the evening. Your body and mind need rhythm. Without recovery, there is no performance. You are not a machine. You are a system, and systems thrive on cycles. If you ignore this, you will crash, not because you're weak, but because you're out of rhythm. And while we're here, let me say this clearly. Your time is not just for others. It's for you. It's for your growth, your joy, your learning, your reflection, your health. Do not give every hour away to other people's demands and then wonder why you feel disconnected from your purpose. Create time for solitude, for books, for journaling, for silence. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, because it's in silence that clarity returns. That energy is restored. That direction becomes obvious again, and in a noisy world, clarity is your competitive advantage, because once you're clear, truly clear on who you are and what you want, you begin to move differently. You stop rushing, you stop chasing, you start executing with quiet intensity, like someone who knows exactly where they're going. And now, we arrive at perhaps the most transformative mindset of all. In time management, you don't manage time, you lead it. You don't follow it. You don't fear it. And you certainly don't waste it, waiting for the perfect moment. You direct it like a general commands a battlefield, strategically, courageously, and with unwavering purpose. This means you must take full ownership of every hour, not just the big moments, not just the peak hour, every single one. When you wake up, you decide. When you sit down, you decide. When you feel tired, you decide. The decision to lead your time is the decision to lead your life. Too many people drift. They don't manage their minutes, they manage their moods. They do what feels good, what feels easy, what feels urgent. But great achievers don't live by emotion, they live by execution. They don't wait to feel ready. They act, they commit, they use systems, not motivation. So if you truly want to get everything done, that matters, you must do more than track time. You must assign meaning to it. Every block of your calendar must answer a question. Why does this matter? Because meaning creates energy. Energy creates momentum. Momentum produces outcome. When you assign deep emotional meaning to your top tasks, when you connect them to your goal, your values, your family, your freedom, you no longer need to force discipline. It emerges naturally. Now, let's address something many people overlook. Not all hours are created equal. Some hours are worth more than others. The hour between 5 and 6 a.m., that's worth 10 times more than the hour you spend watching television at night. Why? Because early hours are quiet, focused, pure. They set the tone for everything, and what you do before the world wakes up determines how you show up in it. Winners rise early, not to impress anyone, not to post about it, but because they understand that ownership of the morning equals ownership of the day. Start small. Wake up 30 minutes earlier this week. Use that time for clarity, for planning, for stillness. You'll notice a difference within days. You'll feel like time bends for you. That's not a trick. That's the result of reclaiming control. And as your control grows, so does your confidence. Because time management is more than productivity, it's identity. When you live in alignment with your values and your vision, when your actions match your priorities, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe in your ability to follow through. You begin to see that you are no longer just reacting to life, you are designing it. And that belief, that self-trust, that's the real goal of mastering time. Let me say this plainly, you will never find time, you must make it. You will never stumble into margin. You must carve it. You will never discover hours hiding under the bed. You must claim them through clarity and courage. And yes, that means sacrifice. You must say no to comfort, to distraction, to anything that does not serve your higher purpose. But what you gain in return is priceless. Peace, progress, power. Because when you lead your time with discipline, you begin to achieve more in a week than others do in a month. You begin to live with focus in a world addicted to frenzy. You begin to create results instead of excuses. This is the difference between people who struggle and people who soar, not intelligent, not resources, not talent. Just the simple daily decision to use time. Well, you already have enough time to transform your life. You just have to stop giving it away. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, before you sleep, write down your 3 most important tasks for tomorrow. Circle the one that scares you the most. That's your frog. Commit to doing it first. Block 2 hours for it. No interruptions. Turn your phone off. Shut the door. Go deep. When you finish, take a walk. Breathe. Smile. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Then repeat. Day after day, week after week. This rhythm will build momentum. Momentum will build confidence. Confidence will build results. And as the results grow, your energy changes, your voice changes, your posture changes. You no longer hope for productivity, you expect it. You no longer admire discipline in others, you embody it yourself. And when others ask, how do you get so much done? You won't need to give a long answer. You'll simply say, I lead my time. And that will say everything. So remember, plan each day. Prioritize the vital few. Do the hard thing first. Protect your focus. Guard your calendar. Say no often. Create space to recover. Connect tasks to meaning. Rise early. Move with purpose. Because when you master your time, you master your future. And the future belongs to the focused,